So, Chapter 1. Who is not selling? Aren't we all selling? A candidate as a job interview, the candidate is selling his candidature, and the interviewer is selling his company. A boy and a girl proposing to get married, a politician making speeches to get votes, a lawyer arguing his client's case in court, a government body negotiating a major contract. Aren't they all selling? Our selling ability determines the success or failure of any transaction. At seminars, I ask my audience how many people are in direct selling. Very few hands go up. When I ask those have not raised their hands what profession they are in, then they say I am a doctor, computer engineer, an accountant, etc. I share with them the definition of a salesperson as given by Robert Stevenson. He said anyone who sells a product, service, or an idea is a salesperson. Based on this definition, who is not selling? A mother sells her ideas to a child, doesn't she? This consideration is not monetary but emotional. We are always selling either for or against ourselves. The way we talk, walk, dress, meet, and greet others say something about us. Our overall personality either leaves a favorable or unfavorable impression on others. Everyone in every company is constantly selling, either for or against the company. For example, the way the telephone operator answers the phone, his her tone either says, I'm glad you called or you're bothering me. Selling is a win win or lose lose game. When a sale is complete and we have sold a solution to someone, it means we have helped them get rid of some pain or achieve some gain. If either of these two things hasn't happened, then we are doing a disservice. The buyer is deprived of a gain or continues bearing his pain, and both the seller and buyer have lost the time forever. The seller has also lost an opportunity to provide a solution elsewhere. Imagine if something could be of benefit to someone and you don't provide that benefit for an investment. In that case, both of you are losing. This is called lose lose. The seller has lost his time forever and the potential source of revenue, and the buyer has been deprived of a solution. By completing the transaction, both parties gain. The buyer by purchasing the solution and seller by getting paid for serving the buyer. When a seller sells the solution, it is called win-win because both parties end up gaining. The way I see it, marketing strategizes the sources of revenue, but it is sales that actually bring in the revenue. Selling is considered to be a function of marketing. When sales results are good, marketing takes credit. When the sales are bad, the sales department and sales people are blamed. Why has selling become a bigger challenge today than it was yesterday? Today, a buyer has more options. Competition has also become sophisticated. Media has made people more knowledgeable and aware. There is a terminology called caveat emptor, which means buyer beware. That is the old thinking. Today, the scenario is seller beware. Why seller beware? This is because the seller is perceived as an expert in his field. The buyer, who may or may not be knowledgeable in the area, is relying on the seller's trustworthiness. Today, the buyer is relying on the seller's character and competence to sell him the right product. This is where the seller's integrity is put to test. People often complain of competition. The way I see it, if you had no competition, how could anyone rate or grade you? When you have competition, if you're good, you look better. And if you're bad, you look worse because people have something or someone to compare you with. Success in selling really demonstrates the survival of the fittest. Fitness is the professionalism in a sales professional, which is a learned trait. Isn't it a small premium to pay for a great life? The profession of selling really is the domain of the elite. The elite professional is like the cream that rises to the top no matter how big or small the container. Aren't you self employed? If not, who are you working for? All sales professionals are self employed entrepreneurs, and unless they consider themselves self employed, they will not succeed. The real question is if you're not working for yourself, then who are you working for? in a free economy. Nothing happens unless a sale takes place. A sales professional moves products and services from the producer to the end user. He keeps the wheels of the economy moving and helps generate income, thus playing a very important role in the economy. In fact, without the profession of selling, one wonders what would happen to the national or international economy. Hence, a robust economy strongly depends on a good salesmanship. Many countries have thousands and some millions of salespeople. Just imagine if each salesperson in each company made one extra sale per year or even better in a month. What would happen to the national economy? It would shoot up. It is a learned professional. It is a learned profession. Sorry, my mistake. Every profession needs a specialization. An architect cannot perform brain surgery. A medical doctor cannot represent you in a lawsuit. A lawyer cannot construct a building. Today, more college graduates are taking up the profession of selling than ever before. In fact, I heard professors say that over 50% of college graduates are going into the profession of selling after completing their formal education. The demand for good sales professionals is high, but the supply is very low, resulting in a big gap. Doctors have to go through medical schools, engineers have to go to engineering college, but rarely do you find a professional education program for salespeople. A good fundamental sales curriculum is missing. Thus, good, effective salespeople are hard to find. Anyone can learn the art of selling and excel in this great profession. The problem is not that people cannot learn the art of selling. The reality is that they lack the attitude to learn. Most people fail in life not because they lack talent, but because they lack the burning desire. Learning to sell is like learning to ride a bicycle. Remember the first time when we were learning to ride a bicycle? Most likely we started with a bicycle that had training wheels attached on both sides. If you recall the first experience, it was rather scary. We were afraid to fall and get hurt, and our objective was to learn eventually to ride without training wheels. As we stumbled when something went wrong, the training wheels protected us till we became proficient enough to balance on two wheels and ride effortlessly. Just analyze the learning process. It was a process, persistence, and practice that brought the proficiency. That exact same thing is true in learning to sell. Just like you cannot learn to swim by reading a book, similarly, the profession of selling cannot just be learned or taught unless it is practiced on the ground. This book not only shares with you what to do but also how to do it. This book doesn't contain theoretical knowledge but contains practical ideas that work and can bring positive results. In this book, we shall discuss time tested, proven principles which make a good professional salesperson. The word I use is principles, not tactics. This is because tactics are manipulative, whereas principles have their own foundation on the following three values: integrity, respect, responsibility. In order for this book to benefit you and show results, it must be read carefully, completely, and then internalized. Reading without internalizing will not help. Just as an athlete builds stamina by constant practice, similarly, a good sales professional builds proficiency with regular practice. My suggestion to you is don't just read this book, but underline practical ideas and personalize them. They are ready to use and will help lead you towards lasting success. Whether you are new in the field of selling or a veteran, these ideas bring fresh perspective. The best part of success is it starts with you, it starts now, and it starts here. So, here we complete the chapter 1 of the book You Can Sell by Mr. Shiv Khera. Very soon I'll be completing and reading the second chapter with you. Thank you.